Morning, guys. I am so excited to talk about planning with you this morning. This is something that has totally changed my healthy journey from the beginning, was learning how to plan, meal plan, prep, and just kind of be more intentional with what I was fueling my body with. Because before I got started with my health journey, it was literally like Diet Cherry Coke and frozen dinners for lunch every day, frozen burrito, and whatever was hanging around at home, which is probably mac and cheese, spaghetti, or a frozen pizza. Like, truthfully, that was what we lived on. And so I want to bring some tips I have for you today on planning, as well as kind of walking you through how to set up your meal plan. So right now, grab a pen and paper. You can do this with me even, but we're going to go through it together. And please, if you're on live or coming back later and watching this, ask questions, drop them below. I would be happy to answer as we go through this or later on. So my meal plan is based on the Fix plan from 21 Day Fix, which is very similar to Live 4 and pretty much any nutrition program since the 21 Day Fix. 21 Day Fix Extreme, 80 Day Obsession has the containers, and that is what I base my meal plan on. So if you are using one of these programs, this is exactly how I do it, how you can do it. I will tell you, I don't use containers anymore. And I don't, because I've been doing this for 4 years, I don't need them anymore. And I feel if I am kind of going over on portions, or I feel like I'm eating more than I should, then I pop those containers out and I start measuring my food for a day or so just to get back on track and remember what portions look like. But if you are just starting out, I really recommend 3 weeks of using those containers. And the reason I say that is because it will educate you so much on what your body needs and what that portion of protein looks like, what that portion of veggies looks like. And so going forward, you know not only what that serving looks like, but how much you should be eating in a day. So I know for me, I know exactly how many containers I should be eating each day, and what that serving size looks like. So let's jump right in, I guess. I have just 5 tips here that I want to start with. Number 1 is to look at your schedule. So I have a Google Calendar here that I have popped up that has all of my dates, all my activities, anything that I have going on throughout the week. I'm going to look at that as I'm making my meal plan. So that's tip 1, is to get your calendar out so you know what you have planned this week. Number 2 is to actually physically write it out. I know it's fine if you're like, all right, in my head, Monday, Tuesday, we're doing this dinner, Thursday, this, like, that's fine, but that's not planning, you guys. That's just having an idea of what you're doing for the week. So write it out. That's my second tip. Third is use what you have at home and get what you need. So I know for us, we buy a lot of stuff in bulk from like Costco, and we'll just kind of supplement at our local grocery store with things that we need for that week. So I always go through my pantry as I'm making my list. My husband and our small dog are still sleeping. So I'm in the basement right now, but as I make my plan, I would be upstairs looking through the pantry to actually see what's, in our fridge and in our pantry. And then tip number 4 is to reuse ingredients. So make things in a bulk batch. I know Andrea Hill, I don't think she's on here, but she does these amazing pan roasted veggies and sausage, and it's so good. And we do that too. We do similar things where we can reuse different ingredients and different recipes and different meals throughout the week. And then last, I kind of said this, but number 5 is to buy in bulk. So if you don't have a Costco membership or Sam's Club, that's totally fine. You can still buy multiples of something from the grocery store in regular size, so you have extra. I always like to have extra veggies and protein on hand. I always run out of them. Greens are an easy one to have in bulk, but we go through protein and veggies super fast. So those are my 5 tips. And so getting started with my meal planning. Number 1, if you have never looked at this, go on to Beachbody On Demand, or if you have this book, go look at it. Fill out your formula so it'll walk you through exactly what your body needs. Getting back to the formula thing, but in the first couple pages it'll walk you through that formula, and then that little chart I just showed you tells you exactly how many servings of each food group you need, and that way you know what you're planning for each day. So I call this the little Beachbody Meal Planning Bible, so you can grab that if you need. Oh, I know, I was going to show you in there too. It also has the food lists So as you're going through, you know what each of those containers recommended food list. And a little hot tip that I learned is the foods at the top of the list are the most nutrient dense and the foods that are gonna help you get the best results faster. Okay, any of these foods are fine to eat, and I get questions all the time about foods that aren't on these lists. And yes, you can eat anything you want in those portions, but stick to these food lists majority of the time and treat yourself a couple times a week with foods that aren't on the list. So that's my recommendation. And by the way, who's on here? Say hi. I'm always curious. Got my Energize, and I mix Energize and Hydrate together, and it's delicious. So let's hop in. So looking at my schedule this week, I write out Monday through Sunday, and then I have breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, and dinner. And you might form your day in a different way. That's completely fine. Truthfully, I actually just do breakfast, lunch, snack, dinner, snack. However your day's set up, that's completely fine. I usually fast until 11 a.m. just because I am not hungry. And I don't work out till like 10. So the way I set this up is breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner. So you're filling in the blanks basically. So I know every single day I'm going to have Shakeology for one of my snacks or meals. So I can plug that in right away. And I do Shakeology and half banana typically and throw some spinach in depending on the flavor. So I know I can fill in, I usually do it for my afternoon snack actually, or my snack right after, or breakfast right after my workout. So I can plug in Shako, half banana, and I'm to the point where I know how many servings I need a day, so I don't have to go through and like tally mark or any of that. But protein, veggie, and a fruit. So I had that all in there. And then I'm looking at dinner that night. What is my husband doing? Okay, he will be home at normal time, so he'll be home like 5:30. He'll work out. I'll have dinner ready. So I'm going to plug in stuffed peppers for dinner. And I always do an extra side of veggies, but so I'll do broccoli. So stuffed peppers and broccoli. I actually made some in bulk, so I have them in the freezer, so we just pop out 2 at a time, and we can have those. It's super easy. And I have broccoli that I buy in bulk from Costco. So then lunch, I usually do a big salad with protein and dressing. So that's my lunch. And then breakfast, I usually do peanut butter toast, and Energize is my favorite. And then the snack you can kind of fill in. Maybe I'll have a fruit and a veggie, so just writing this out. And you can do a healthy fat, some hummus or whatever you want. So I kind of filled out my day here. So you're going to go through that and do it for every single day that week. And I know Thursday night is my treat meal night, is our date night. And we're foodies. We love going to different restaurants and kind of having fun with that. So I know that night will be my treat night. I also know we do 2 treat nights a week. And this is totally up to you and your goals. I'm maintaining and just challenging myself with workouts. I'm not trying to lose weight. I'm not going after any crazy goals. We're trying to have a baby right now. So it's really just about healthy, balanced lifestyle for me. And so we usually do a treat meal on the weekend too, whether that's brunch or like pizza on Sunday night, but I plug that in. I also know that Friday nights, if we do date night Thursday, that we need to make healthy choices on Friday night if we're going to do a treat night on the weekend, or you can swap it. So kind of think through your week. Plug in. Do you have a Christmas party? Fine. Make that your treat meal, right? Plug that in. Enjoy your treats on that night. Maybe Sunday you have brunch with your family and your mom makes killer cinnamon rolls and an amazing egg baked casserole or whatever it is, and you're like, I want that to be my treat meal. Plug it in. That's fine. Another little tip with the meal planning is to write out what workout you're doing and when next to each day of your meal plan. That way you have that all ready to go. And then from this list, I take this list of everything when it's finished. I'd finish first, and I would create my grocery list. And that's where you can compare with what's in your fridge, what's in your pantry, and then what do you need from the store. Make that list out. And we usually have a Costco list, and we have a regular store list. And we hit Costco probably every 2 weeks. So I kind of know I add up stuff that I need for Costco and go when we need it. Okay? Does anybody on here have any questions? Hi, Tabitha. Hey, Tammy. Hey, Don. Good to see you guys. Let me know if you have questions. I'm trying to think if I missed anything. Jenna is going to pop on tomorrow and talk about how to prep and tips for meal prepping. But I basically just ran down the meal planning, how to do it. And if you are someone who is new to like the portions and that's what you're doing, the portion containers, you can always next to this just write out your container tally for like, I had my 3 reds or 4 reds, I had 3 greens, 2 purples for this day, so you know that you're getting enough of each serving plugged into that day. And as a new person to this, it will take you a little bit longer, but every week you're learning how to do it, and every week you're creating a meal plan that you can reuse. So honestly, we kind of recycle 3 meal plans and throw in a new recipe once in a while. So it's kind of up to you how you want to handle that. But planning, you guys, is so important. Planning to fail is like failing to plan. You've heard it, you've seen it. And I know this time of year, it gets stressful, it gets crazy. So take 10 minutes, 15 minutes this morning, write out your meal plan, post it below either in this post or a daily check-in. We could all benefit from seeing each other's plans too for ideas. And then tomorrow, hit the grocery store, get Jenna's tips on prepping, and get what you need prepped for the week to make it successful.
So what I want to dive right into is meal prepping. And when I got started on my health journey, really with coaching, 3 years ago, meal planning and meal prepping was a mystery to me. Okay. So if you are just getting started on your journey with us in this Best Life Tribe, getting started on your journey in general, that is okay. If you feel like, oh my gosh, this is just a little overwhelming, I'm not really sure what to do, that's okay. Because I remember being there, and I remember I got started with the 21-day fix. Also, Cassie shared the 21-day fix meal plan yesterday. And I remember getting the stuff in the mail and being like, okay, like pulling out the containers, pulling out the booklet, the nutritional booklet. And I was so excited. Hold on, let me turn my phone on silent really quick. I just felt it vibrate. I was so excited, but also just that little state of, okay, how am I going to do this? So I hope all the tips and tools that we share with you guys really alleviate any sort of overwhelm and just help simplify it a little bit, because it will take some time to master your meal planning, your meal prepping, but just know the more you do it, the easier it gets, the more efficient you will get, and the more time that you will save. So when I really started to meal plan and to meal prep, it was a game changer for me. And the reason that is, in terms of meal prepping, is it saved so much time. And I know you're thinking like meal prepping, like that takes time. Like how is this saving you time? But it saved time throughout the rest of the week and throughout in the long run, in the grand scheme of things, because technically you're pulling out ingredients once or maybe twice a week versus pulling them out every single day and making your meals at every mealtime every single day of the week versus pulling it out once or twice a week and making everything at once. And more often than not, if you're like making a lunch or making a meal, you eat the same thing once or twice a week. So just think, you could make 3 salads in the same amount of time that you would make 1 normally, right? So I'm going to dive a little deeper with how-to and tips. Okay, so first, how to meal prep. And the first 2 go back to what Cassie shared yesterday. You need to look at your schedule, figure out kind of how your week looks. If you know you have an appointment during dinner time this day, or are going out with friends for the holidays because of this day, or have a date night and you're going out with your spouse on this day, that's great. That's okay. Just know in your schedule then that you don't need to plan or prep that meal. So look at your schedule, figure out your plan, make your meal plan for what meals that you will be making and what meals that you will need to be prepping, and then make that grocery list. And Cassie shared all this yesterday. Really utilize those food lists, you guys, that are in your nutritional guides. But that's tip 1 and 2. Look at your schedule and make that meal plan in your grocery list. And tip number 3 that kind of starts in the prepping stage is to cook and make things in bulk. And I'm going to dive a little deeper into that. But really the importance of cooking in bulk is to have leftovers to be able to make for future meals. And then to use different ingredients that are already made, because you say you cooked in bulk a bunch of veggies, and then today you had, just chicken and veggies, but then tomorrow you're going to have veggies with a side. Oh, I didn't think this through. You could throw veggies in an omelet, or, the next day you could just have veggies as a side with a wrap or something like that. So by cooking simple ingredients in bulk, you can mix and match different meals throughout the week, still eating the same types of foods that you cooked in bulk. Okay, I'll dive a little deeper into that. Number 4 is then prep those meals. So when I worked full time, I probably prepped about 3 days worth. And the reason being for that is I would still cook dinner at least 3 or 4 times a night, or 3 or 4 times a week. So I liked cooking dinner. I really didn't cook my dinners, or I didn't really prep my dinners ahead of time. That's your personal preference, but I like to come home from work, pour a glass of wine sometimes, and just, make dinner. And that was Jameson and my time together. So that's what I did. But when I would cook dinner, I would cook more than what we needed, so then I would have leftovers for future meals moving forward throughout the week. Or if we wanted dinner, if I made spaghetti dinner, I could have lunch. The next day I could have spaghetti, but then maybe, 2 days from now we wanted spaghetti dinner again. So I would just make extra, okay? And then going back to the comment that I made in the very beginning of with prepping your meals, is you're getting those ingredients out one time versus the 5 or 7 times per week that you would be getting them out to make each meal individually. So it truly, truly is, prepping your meals is a time saver. So the example I'm going to give you guys is with salads. Okay, I really ate salads every week. I would have a salad or two during lunch. I love salads. And when I say salad, it's not just like some lettuce with a little bit of dressing and some carrot shreds or something. Like, I make a good hearty salad. And that's why I love the portion control containers, because we have the veggies, the fruit options, the protein options, the healthy fats, the seeds, the dressings. So you can mix and match so many different things to make that salad. So when I would go prep for my week of lunches, I would pull out the bulk of, the salad would be the kale or the spinach or the cabbage. I would just make cabbage salads, which I love cabbage. So I would pull out the bulk of what the salad base would be. Sometimes I would mix and match kale and cabbage, kale and spinach, romaine. So that would be the bulk. I would grab my green container, my portion container, and I would have Tupperware jars or mason jars laid out. So I would have 3 or 4 Tupperwares, boom, boom, boom. Have my green container. I would take fill a green container with kale, dump it in the Tupperware. Do that 3 times. And then if I wanted spinach, I would take a green full of spinach, put it in on all of them. Okay? And then I would put my veggies down. Okay, that's 2 veggies. Tally that off of my how many portions I got for everything, right? And then my protein. I love hard-boiled eggs. So I believe 2 hard-boiled eggs with the yolk is 1 red. So I would have, 2 hard-boiled eggs in this Tupperware. Maybe I was prepping some chicken in the crock pot. So this salad is going to have some chicken, 2 hard-boiled eggs in this Tupperware. So I would kind of mix and match as I'm making my salad. And then I would tally off, one red for my lunch. And then seeds, dressings, healthy fats. I love sunflower seeds, avocado in my salads. So I hope you guys are kind of understanding having, pull out your 5 Tupperware or 5 mason jars, right, for the week of lunches, and then pull out all your ingredients at once, bam, 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 versus pulling it out every morning. Okay, I'm gonna make my salad today, and it takes that so much longer of time just to take out the ingredients 5 times out of your fridge versus just the once. Okay, so that's really what I did. Salads was just an easy example, but it could be anything. I just love salads, and then mixing and matching different ingredients with that. So with ideas with, let's say, grocery shopping for your meal prep. and I know Cassie went into this too, but I really want to emphasize or touch on, because she shared about buying, I think she shared on buying some frozen items. And what I love to do when I go grocery shopping, she loves Costco. She buys in bulk at Costco. We go to Costco about once every couple months. I just got a membership, so I'm not really on the Costco train yet. But I love to buy fresh and frozen. And the reason that I buy frozen big bags of veggies, the big frozen chicken breasts, is because yes, I have all my fresh foods. My fresh foods are what my meal plan will be for that week. But heaven forbid, I cannot get to the grocery store. By the time all my fresh food runs out, something comes up, or we're traveling during the weekend, or what have you. I know that in my freezer, I have a big bag of veggies. I have the big bag of chicken breast. I have my frozen fruits in the freezer. So it's almost that backup plan versus having to order takeout if we don't have any food in the house, or go into that frozen pizza, which we still eat frozen pizza, but it's not like it's always that second option. It's just that option if I really have a taste for frozen pizza tonight. So to have that frozen food in your freezer, to me, I just like having that as a backup plan, knowing, oh my gosh, I'm dipping into my frozen food. I have to get to the grocery store ASAP. Okay. And then for ideas with cooking in bulk, I love using my crock pot. So if you guys have an Instapot, I have not gotten to that point in time yet. I love my crock pot. But what I do in there, I'll go out and buy some chicken breast, and I'm just using chicken as protein. You could buy pork, you could buy venison, you could buy beef, chicken, whatever, fish. So I love to just grab chicken breast, throw it in the crock pot with some chicken broth, a little bit of water, some seasoning, and I just eyeball the seasoning: garlic, onion, salt, pepper, Italian seasoning, oregano, whatever. And then just let that sit all day on the weekend. And then I'll shred that up and be able to have that for salads throughout the week. Or I'll shred it up and yeah, I'll have it for salads, but then I really want barbecue chicken, sandwiches or wraps one night for dinner. Okay, so again, cooking one item in bulk, a simple item like chicken, cooking that in bulk, and then you could throw that in a salad. You could make a wrap out of it. You could throw some barbecue sauce on there and just mix and match different ways to eat that same portion or that same serving of protein. Okay. And then another idea with cooking in bulk is baking your vegetables in the oven. And yes, like I do use a stovetop every now and then. Like I'll fry my veggies to really blacken them. I love blackened food or grilled food. But when I get out my cookie sheet, put some olive oil on that cookie sheet, and I'll tear up one head of cabbage, one head of broccoli. I'll cut up a cabbage. I'll slice the cabbage to make like the little slices. And then sweet potatoes. I know that's considered a carb, but I'll throw all of that on a cookie sheet or two with some garlic, with some onion salt, and I'll put that in the oven and prep that. Right there, I have 2 full cookie sheets of veggies where I'm not going to eat all that in one sitting, but then I have that for future meals. So yes, if I'm meal prepping, you bet your bottom we're going to eat a good, hearty, home-cooked meal that night, fresh, but then I'll be able to have those leftovers for the rest of the week. Does that make sense? I see one person still watching. It's not showing me the comments. But Energize and my vitamin water. We went to Farm and Fleet yesterday, and I was parched. I'm like, I don't see any water. So I got vitamin water. But let's see. I just lost my notes here. Oh, so with Jameson and I, we don't mind eating the same things every couple weeks. So I really just rotate our dinner meals, really. And this is for someone that I don't really get bored with food. I love trying new things. Jameson does not. So when we go out to eat, yes, I'll get my sushi or, the more exotic things. But cooking at home, it's really kind of rotating the same, 10 meals throughout a couple weeks. So for us, just some ideas are I will cook a meat, so a protein, a starch, so like a rice, a quinoa, brown rice, and then a veggie. So right there you have your protein, your carb, and your veggie. And I will cook all three of those in bulk, so then I will have leftovers. So if I'm cooking, like protein examples would be chicken, red meat, pork, and I made salmon last week. I love salmon. And then again, your rices could be that quinoa or a sweet potato, right? And again, I'll cook that in bulk so then I can eat that throughout the rest of the week. Vegetables, looking at your food list, broccoli, cauliflower, beans. Those are our go-tos because that's what Jameson likes. And then, then I'll buy like zucchini, squashes, what else? What other veggies do I buy that he doesn't really like? So, I buy what he likes too. And if you have a family, I know it could be a little more difficult to kind of satisfy everyone's, palate. But by you cooking in bulk, you could still make your favorite things and then, eat with the family what they, want and then have your things too. So I know that a lot of people say like, oh, my family doesn't like XYZ. And it's like, if you're meal prepping or if you're cooking in bulk or if you're really planning, it shouldn't matter. Like, I understand everyone has different palates, but it really shouldn't matter. And if there are so many healthy swaps that I know you could trick your children into, like cauliflower rice or cauliflower crust or, whatever. Or with me, spaghetti squash. I always use spaghetti squash over noodles. And Jameson can't even tell the difference because the sauce is what makes the spaghetti anyways. So there's so many different options out there. So don't let that be an excuse. Another meal that we love are tacos. So we have ground venison. So I'll make, the meat in bulk, but then I'll have my taco salad with the base of lettuce, with the venison, with some black beans, with some plain Greek yogurt, subbed as sour cream, and then a little bit of avocado. That's my dinner. And then he has the tortilla shell, the venison, and the cheese. He's just the taco guy, right? He just likes a simple soft shell taco. Another one that we make a lot is spaghetti. And again, I use spaghetti squash versus noodles. I make him noodles, even though when he eats the spaghetti squash, it's perfectly fine. And then soup. So with soup, I'll again make chicken noodle soup in bulk, and then I'll put the rest in the freezer. So then throughout, maybe next week we have a craving for chicken noodle soup. I could just pull it out and defrost and heat it up versus having to make it all over again, okay? So those are just some ideas. Chicken and veggies, spaghetti, tacos, taco bakes, chilies, chicken noodle soups, crock pot stuff, pot roasts, chicken enchiladas in the crock pot, so good. And let's see, I think that's really it, you guys. Really the importance of meal prepping is make it simple. And if you have your plan, and if you have your grocery list and went shopping and you know exactly what your meals are going to be for the week, then all you need to do is take an hour once a week. Take an hour or two. It might take a couple hours just getting started, but take a couple hours and really prep all of those meals. So then when you put them in the fridge, you wake up tomorrow morning to go to work, you just grab that Tupperware and go. Versus having to get up a half hour earlier and make that salad and make that breakfast and what have you. And the same goes with Shakeology. So my last little bit here is if you love to mix Shakeology with things, I personally just use Shakeology, my digestive boost, almond milk or water, and ice. Okay? So that's all I use. And I'll just grab it all and put it in my Ninja blender and blend it up. But some people love to put, spinach or fruits or this or that, and they make a concoction of their Shakeology. You could put all of that stuff, you could even prep your Shakeology and put it into a Ziploc or put it into a Tupperware So then you could just grab that Ziploc in the morning or whenever you have your Shakeology, and then grab your Shakeology, put your concoction Ziploc in the blender, put your Shakeology in the blender, add the liquid and blend and go. Again, versus pulling out every single ingredient every single day. Okay, so I hope that helps you guys. Drop any questions that you have below. I will share a document with some snack ideas that I have. But besides that, I hope this video was helpful for you guys, and happy meal prepping today.